We got to talk about the Osmo Pocket 3 today and its newest update. So it's update number, I'll put it right here. Yeah, that update number. So it came out the end of November, and there's some pretty cool updates that they added to this one, and I'm kind of excited about some of them, but there is some stuff I'd still like to see added in the future, and we'll talk about that along the way too. And if you guys have anything to add to it, I'd love to hear it in the comments so that we can have a discussion about what we think the Pocket 3 needs. First one, they added D-Log-M as well as HLG, but I more care about the D-Log-M to the slow-mo. Now they added it to the 4K 120, but they didn't add it to the 1080 240. That's all right. The 4K 120 looks real nice, and adding the ability to color grade better in it is great because I just got some slow-mo the other day, and I was pairing it up with some 60 frames per second that I had in D-Log, and it was hard to match color because it's doing standard color profile on the slow-mo and then doing D-Log on the shots that I wasn't using the slow-mo. So this is really nice that they added that. I'd really like to see them add it to the 240 in the future, but also it would be nice to have 120 frames per second to record in while you're just in regular video mode. Now they have it on the Action 4, and I don't see why they can't add it to the Pocket 3. It definitely seems like something this camera is capable of. And the next really cool thing that they added with this update is internal like scratch audio recording while you have the mic going. To access the built-in mic backup, you just swipe down from the top, hit your gear here, and go down until you see built-in mic audio backup. It's turned off right now. You go in here and it tells you all the information about it, and then go ahead and click on, and then it'll start saving your backup. So say you're filming somebody, you give them this mic so that you can film them while you're being the cameraman with the Pocket 3. It's just nice that if you have questions or whatever, you can speak it and it'll record you. Or if you have any breakups, you can use the scratch audio to catch the audio that you recorded internally on your microphone on here. So yeah, a couple options to use that with where it makes sense and it's kind of beneficial. So several people I noticed had asked in a previous video if you could record on the internal microphone while recording on the external microphone. And so now it just saves it in a different WAV file, and it saves the audio you're getting from the wireless microphone to the video, and then it saves the extra audio that you're getting from the internal audio as the external WAV file. Let's go to the next one, which is something I don't use that often, but I can see a lot of people using it, and it's when you're using this for a webcam, you can now record in 1080 and 50 frames per second or 60 frames per second, depending on if you're in the US or overseas. So that's nice for people that are using it as a webcam. You have those higher frame rates, good for you. I might use it as a webcam in the future, but I just don't have a lot of reason to do webcam stuff. So someday, maybe I will, and maybe that'll come in handy. Now this next one is something that I really like because when I do a cinematic video, I tend to like to add the letterbox like this. So now the Pocket 3 has given us the option to add the ability to do the 2.35 by 1 aspect ratio on the camera. Now it doesn't record in the 2.35 aspect ratio, but it gives you a guide for it. So you know where your framing is going to be within that 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio. That way in post you can go ahead and do those crops and give it that letterbox look. So I really like it, and it's something that's going to come in handy for me to help me frame out my shots. The new reference lines are also found under your settings. Right now you see I just have like the thirds grid on, which I like using just so I can frame out my shots. And swipe down, go under your settings, go down, it's pretty far down. It is labeled as reference lines. Click your reference lines and you can turn the 2.35 by 1 guide on, but you don't want to click them both on at the same time. So I would click it on, click the other one off. Otherwise, you'll throw yourself off. I'll show you what it looks like with just this one on. So you see you have it up here and down here. So this just tells you that if you're going to crop and post, this is where your stuff's going to be. The problem with keeping the thirds grid on is if you have it on, it doesn't adapt it. So you're still utilizing the thirds as if you're still shooting in 16 by 9 and you're not trying to shoot in 2.35 by 1. So see how they're all on here, but it doesn't change your thirds grid to fit. So your thirds are off. And the last one which is kind of important because I've done this several times and then come back to a dead transmitter. But previously, if I turn my camera off and I forget to turn the transmitter off, the transmitter just stays on. And it'll stay on until you remember you left it on and shut it off, or the battery dies. So the newest update made it so the transmitter has a 15-minute shut off when it is not connected to anything. That's nice. It should have probably been there all along, but I'm glad they caught it. I mean, that's what these firmware updates are for, stuff that they catch after they've got the production out. And so I'm glad they caught it and they were able to actually fix that problem so that we get our transmitters to shut off and the battery doesn't die. And I think 15 minutes is acceptable considering how long the battery life is on these things. And that's all that's really notable in this update. Now, I have one other thing that I really feel like we have to get in a future update. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but that is the ability to do the gimbal mode changes on your home screen or with your joystick. I would prefer it be with the joystick. So there currently is 2 ways to flip your camera around without leaving the home screen. And that is, there's a button at the bottom corner of your screen that you tap and it does it, or you triple tap the joystick and it does it also. So there's 2 ways to do the flip around, and I would prefer the screen touch one for that. So if the triple tap on the joystick could just be made into the gimbal follow modes, that'd be terrific. Now you might say, well, why can't you just swipe off the screen to do it? But like, if I'm taking a shot and I'm trying to do some kind of movement and it's not working with one mode, between hitting record to try to get this movement, to get this shot, I might say, I need to change my gimbal mode and I shouldn't have to swipe off the screen. I should be able to tap record to stop recording, hit something else, switches the mode, hit record again because I'm ready, and not have to take the time to swipe up, click a button, it pulls up the screen with all of them on it, then click which one I want. It's too much. It's too much to do when you're just trying to get a shot of something and you need to change your gimbal mode. All right, I have really strong feelings about this and I really hope they add it, but what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think we need added. Let me know if you agree that that needs to be added. Let me know if you liked what they added to this update. I think some of it was cool. And if you did like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel because I'm making more stuff on the Pocket 3. And next week, I'm going to do something on the slow-mo because I just filmed a bunch of waterfall stuff in slow-mo. And now I've got a whole new slow-mo to go shoot because of this recent update so that I can get it in the D-log. I'll see you guys next week with another one. Check out the rest of my playlist on the Pocket 3 right here and get caught up because there's a lot of fun stuff about this camera. Go shoot something awesome. Don't forget to post your work and be proud of it. Peace out, guys. I'll see you next week with another one. Later.